welcome to another video of Leadership for Students. For this video, we're going to be focusing on the 5 skills that leaders need to be successful. Today is going to be pretty much just me letting you guys know something that I read in an article about like the 5 qualities that make up a leader, and how you can develop each of those qualities, and questions that you can ask yourself to further develop each of these qualities. And so I hope that you guys go through this video and really get into each of these different subjects, and hopefully you will learn and grow along with watching this video. Alright guys, so the first skill needed to be a successful leader in the future is learning agility. So as pace of change accelerates, only those that can respond to change gracefully with a learner's mindset will succeed. And in an article, Eric Hoffer says, in times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. So consider, for example, our software clients who grew up creating desktop on-premise software. They now need to create software for mobile and Internet of Things devices. It says, which requires an entirely new mindset of skills. Their expertise developed over decades of their career became nearly useless. So yeah, pretty much that section of the article is explaining that that sometimes people focus too much on the present, and we're not thinking about the future. So this example showed how the people in the future who focused on the people who in the present focused too much on a certain thing didn't have the skills that they needed in the future, because they were too focused on the one thing. So how do you develop learning agility? Follow your natural curiosity. So imagine you're a child exploring the world for the first time. What would you want to learn more about? For example, a recent interviewee admitted, I don't know why, but I recently got super into aquaponics. I've learned everything I can and get my hands on terms of science, the chemistry, the plants, the water. It has no practical application, but I had a blast. So that curiosity is exactly what people look for, because it means that they are agile enough to evolve as the industry does. So some questions to ask yourself is, do I rely on what I know or what I might learn? How easily do I drop my ego and admit I don't know something? What am I naturally curious about? So if you focus on those questions and you kind of follow where those questions go, that will help you develop your sense of learning agility. Alright, so the second skill that you need to be a successful leader in the future is focused attention. So we're living in a world with unprecedented stimuli. So your phone rings, your email pops up, a coworker stops to chat, your calendar alerts you to a meeting. It's madness. Most of the leaders I work with are in constant firefighting mode, responding to one urgent request after another, doing what is immediately available. This type of constant distraction without clarity creates stress, lost productivity, and ultimately burnout. This distraction creates a loss of control, and the only way to regain control is to learn to work with your mind to focus. In the movie Up, there's a dog that is constantly distracted by squirrel, and his attention is immediately absorbed into the furry creature. So we are the same way. Unless we have learned to focus our attention is cultivated and grown like a muscle. There are many books lately on prioritization and the essential few, which is great, but prioritizing only works if you have the disciplined attention to actually focus on the task at hand. In our fast-paced, instant gratification world, we are strong on stimuli and weak on focused attention. So how do you develop focused attention? Meditation. There are many types of meditation. So the person who wrote this article says they do a body-based meditation. So he says, my dad meditates while riding his dirt bike. My brother meditates by fixing RC cars. Whatever meditation works for you, The point is to focus all of your attention on one thing: your breath, your body, etc. Whenever your mind wanders, you bring it back to the object of focus. Strengthening your attention muscle takes practice. So it's gonna take hours, days, months, could be years, but they pay off when you have the strength of mind to cut through the noise is worth it. So questions to ask yourself: how well can I focus my attention? What am I doing today to cultivate and strengthen my attention? What could I be doing? All right. The third skill needed to be a successful leader is lateral thinking, which is also called creativity, innovation, fresh thinking, etc. Basically, leaders of the future need to be able to connect the dots that haven't been connected before in order to create new ideas. In our innovation practice, one of our tools is to take two different concepts and fuse them together to see what new thing is created. For example, a cupcake and a car tire. Maybe you make a tire shaped cupcake for tired mechanics, or maybe you reuse the rubber from old tires to create oven baked cupcake pans. The possibilities are endless. With more and more of our logical jobs being automated through technology, our biggest value add as humans becomes our creativity and ability to think in surprising new ways. So, how do you develop lateral thinking? Play games like a child. When you are with your friends, challenge yourself to put two concepts together and draw links. Use word association. Open a dictionary to a random word and make up a story about that word. Explore dramatically different fields: mindfulness and dirt bikes, CrossFit and online education, Bikram and executive coaching, and see what common concepts you find between the fields. You can find more great ideas on developing lateral thinkings online. So some questions to ask yourself if you're trying to develop your lateral thinking would be: how often do I let myself play like a child? Where can I explore next? How does X relate to Y? What area of my life could use some fresh ideas? And so that pretty much, summarizes lateral thinking and how you can develop lateral thinking, and some questions to get you into that groove. All right, so the fourth skill that leaders need to be successful in the future is radical independence. Adult development, also known as vertical development, describes the phases of maturity from dependence to independence to interdependence. As it's the essence, I see it as dependent people wait for a leader to tell them what to do. Independent people create hierarchical guidance to execute a strategic plan. Interdependent people facilitate common understanding between people. Interdependence is basically advanced collaboration. Every single company I worked with says some version of: we need to work across the company more. We can't just think about our own department. Or we collaborate, but it is inefficient and a waste of time. We need to do smarter, more selective collaborating. So building your ability to facilitate understanding and develop connections between people is critical for effective collaboration. So how do you develop radical independence? So you develop radical independence by being the person in the group who creates shared understanding. So don't wait for others to do so first, and don't try to solve it all by yourself, then get others on board. But rather see how you can facilitate a common vision and purpose for the group. Imagine yourself as a facilitator, not a leader or a follower. One of my favorite reframes when I'm in a group is to ask, what are we solving for? Once it is answered, then we can realign behind a common problem statement and create from there. So some questions to ask yourself to develop radical independence would be: how do I feel about collaboration? Do I tend to go off and do work by myself, or do I wait for the leader, or do I take charge? How well networked am I currently? Meaning, how many people do you know? How many people can you reach out to and talk to currently? And then the last question is, what would I need to do to build a stronger network? So what can you do, to have more of these connections, to know more of these people? And so these are questions to ask yourself to develop your radical independence. Right. And last but not least, skill number 5 is systems thinking. Everything you do creates a ripple effect. We're in a spider web connected by invisible strings to every other person, place, and thing on Earth. For example, when you take a bite of salad, you think about the person that grew the lettuce in California, the one who labored to pick it, the machines that packaged it, the driver who drove it out to you, the store who refrigerated it, the cheerful counter person who sold it to you, the janitor who will take the empty plastic container out the garbage bin, and more. Leaders of the future need to be able to see these type of links and understand the broader implication of their decisions. Companies are rapidly moving away from traditional transactional relationships between the company and the customer towards an ecosystem partnership where they are all competitors, both competitors and collaborators. Consider Apple partnering with rivals Amazon and Google on a new AI study. While they are competitors in mobile phone industry, they collaborate to advance the science of AI, which would benefit them all. As the world gets more complex, the roles get blurry. A leader needs to have a vision for the company and see the broader system involved in order to understand the widespread impact of their decisions on partners, on competitors, on customers, and on their supply chain or on the planet. So how do you develop systems thinking? So you develop systems thinking by asking for feedback on your impact. Until you can see it for yourself, you need to hear it from others. So solicit feedback by using questions like, how did this decision impact your team? Or what is the perspective on the situation? So when making a major decision, you can create a system map that draws out the stakeholders that may be impacted by the decision. So consider the downstream implications of your decision. What would X or Y mean to all the people involved? No need to pander to others, but it is critical to consider the impact you have on the people and systems that you are a part of. So some questions to ask yourself if you want to develop your systems thinking is, what impact do I have on the people around me? How closely aligned are my actions with the desired impact? And what can I do to better understand the system around me? So in summary, with the pace of change rapidly increasing, you can prepare yourself by developing your learning agility, your focused attention, your lateral thinking, your radical independence, and your systems perspective. So each of these skills will help you navigate the noise of change by having a broader perspective and ability to learn from others while thinking creatively about the future. So, at the end of the day, all of these ideas, everything comes together in helping you to become the person that you need to be to become a successful leader. And I hope that these things that were listed were helpful to you guys, and I will comment more on it in a sec. Alright guys, so I went through all 5 of the skills that leaders need to be successful in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to all of these things, and I hope that these skills, this list of necessary skills has helped you maybe get onto the right track of what skill you guys might be missing, what skill you guys might be lacking, and what you can focus on. So I learned along with you guys. I read this article, and one of my personal favorite parts was the one to develop lateral thinking, because I feel like this was a really cool idea, even if your lateral thinking is already amazing. The part where it says to open a dictionary to a random word and to make up a story about that word. So that part is really cool because it seems like a simple way to develop your lateral thinking. And I know I have a dictionary lying around from when I was like in elementary or something that we don't use anymore because we have computers now. So it'd be cool to just pick up the dictionary, open it to a page, and if you don't have one, like Dollar Store has dictionaries that you might be able to scoop up, and it sounds like a pretty fun game to help you even learn new words. So all in all, I feel like that's like the best part, because it helps you develop as a person and it helps your mind develop as well. So that one was a really cool one that I loved learning along with you guys. And yeah, hopefully you guys can share your favorite parts with me. If you guys want to follow any of the social media that we're on, I will put links on the bottom as always. And just from here, I'm gonna lead it into the thank you so much, for watching these videos. Thank you for sticking through, always to the end. If you're seeing this message, you stuck with me through the end, and so I thank you very much. And like I said, I will add a link to our Instagram and to our link tree so that you can connect with us through many of the other ways: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We don't have a Twitter. And yeah, so hope to speak to you guys through any of those. Thanks, guys.